welcome to your last day of Under the Sea week. I can't believe that this is our last and final day, and we're really wrapping up everything that we talked about throughout the week. And stay tuned because at the end of class, if you have all of your crafts that we made throughout the week, we're going to kind of show them all and then see which one was our favorite one. But we have to talk about sharks and do our Shark Week activity before we can kind of see which one was our favorite. Before we do that, I want to do a little bit of an introduction here. So give me just a second, you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, friends. So again, welcome to the last and final day of our Under the Sea week. I think if I'm saying this correctly, you guys will have a new theme for next week, which I think will be super fun as well. So stay tuned for that. But today is the last day for our Under the Sea theme. Now, some of you might have came all throughout the week, which is awesome. Some of you, your first day might be today, which is a-okay. I just wanted to make sure that I introduced myself each and every day so that if there was any new friends, they were able to know who I was as well. So my name is Mrs. Rice. And a lot of you know I've been teaching for 9 years, but I've been at PA Virtual now for the last 3 years. And I love PA Virtual and I love being here with you guys, especially during summer camp. It adds a little bit more to the fun. My favorite summer activity is going to the beach. I know that I said this a few times throughout the week. Since we are having an Under the Sea theme this week, I was so excited because my favorite summer activity, what I really enjoy doing, is going to the beach. And being in Pennsylvania, in the state that I live in, it's not beach weather all throughout the year. It's really only beach weather during the summertime. So my favorite summer activity is being able to go to the beach whenever it's really hot outside and you can enjoy the ocean in a safe way and just kind of see the waves and relax a little bit. So that's my favorite summer activity. I would love to hear what some of your favorite summer activities are, maybe what you have done already this summer that you'd like to share, or maybe what you would like to do. I know in my last few days this year in my ELA class, we made like a bucket list. And on that bucket list, we were able to write down things that we wanted to do over our summer break. So maybe it's things that you didn't get to do yet, but something that you would really enjoy doing in your summer break. Going to the pool is lots of fun. All right, friends, so we are going to talk about sharks today. And I know some of you, if not all of you, know that that is our topic for today. We talked about 4 different kind of sea creatures or sea animals this week. Can anyone name some of them in the chat? What are some of the ones that we've talked about this week? Today, we're going to wrap up our Under the Sea week with sharks, but what are some other ones that we've learned more about throughout the week? Oh yeah, I see turtles, jellyfish, stingrays. You guys got it. Good remembering. Yeah, Maya says jellyfish, turtles, and stingrays. Good. So a lot of you remember all of the different kind of sea animals or sea creatures that we talked about this week in our Under the Theme week. So we talked about jellyfish, sea turtles. Yesterday we did stingrays, and today we're going to kind of wrap it all together with sharks. Now, I know that there is a week in the summer, and I think it's early August, and it's called Shark Week. So if you guys are really interested in sharks, there is a whole week kind of dedicated just to sharks. There's lots of like shark movies on. A lot of places do fun like kind of shark activities, and it really gives you some more knowledge about sharks, and then also teaches you about different types of sharks too, which I know some of you know that there's lots of different types of sharks. So that's pretty cool. So let's answer our question before we dive in a little deeper here. What do we already know about sharks? So when you think about a shark, what's the first thing that kind of comes to your mind? Let me know in the chat. Conley said, when sharks are in their mama's belly, they eat each other? I don't know about that. I need to look that one up. That's an interesting fact. Sharks don't have bones. Okay. Oh, their teeth. Yeah, their sharp teeth. When I think of a shark, I always think of like danger. But they're not, they can be, but they're not as dangerous as our minds make us believe. There are more than 500 types of sharks, and sharks do have bones. Oh, we'll talk a little bit more about that today. When a shark comes towards you, push them away. Okay. I think they have bones. They're just made of cartilage. You might be right. Yeah, anyone else? Kind of what we think of when we maybe picture a shark in our brain or when we see a shark maybe at an aquarium. Maybe some of you have done like shark tours. Some vacation spots have those. Oh, sharks can smell blood from far away. Okay, sharp teeth and big sharks. Yeah, it might surprise you. I know that some of us were talking about different types of sharks. There is a lot of different types of sharks. And so when I think about sharks, I always think about just like the big sharks that we typically see in movies or, that people show on the news and things like that. But there's actually a lot of different types of sharks and they all look different. All right, so let's dive in a little bit deeper, you guys, about sharks and learn maybe some new facts that we didn't already know about sharks. So Mrs. Rice has about 2 pages here of facts, but feel free if you have any more that you would like to share with friends, you can go ahead and drop those in the chat as well. All right, so this is a picture of one type of shark. Like Mrs. Rice said, and like some of you said as well, there is a lot of different types of sharks. So this is just one type of shark here. Now, sharks can vary in size. So that means when I say the word vary, that means that sharks can be very small. So the smallest shark is about the size of a human hand. So if you lift up your hand, that is the size of some sharks, which is actually pretty teeny tiny. If we saw a shark that size, it probably wouldn't scare us so much. Right? So that's interesting to know because like I was saying before, when I think of a shark, I think of just a really large shark, right? With really sharp teeth, kind of scary looking. But actually, some types of sharks can be as small as your hand. Okay. Now, of course, sharks can be pretty large too. So they range. They can be the smallest is kind of the size of your hand, and the largest can be up to 33 feet long. So that is about 5 or 6 average human. So if you put Mrs. Rice is a little more than 5 feet. So if you put about 6 of me together, that would be the size of like the largest shark. So that is pretty big, you guys. Okay. Now, another fact, sharks can have thousands of teeth in their lifetime. So some of us said in the chat, one of the first things that we think about when we see a shark or when we think about a shark is their sharp teeth. And you guys weren't wrong to say that. Sharks can have thousands of teeth in their lifetime. That doesn't mean all at one time. They actually lose their teeth and gain more teeth very quickly. So sharks can have thousands of teeth in their whole lifetime. Again, you guys, that doesn't mean one time they have thousands of teeth in their mouth, but throughout their whole life, they can have thousands of teeth because they lose them and they get them back pretty quickly, much faster than we do. Okay, now this was an interesting fact because I know Mrs. Rice kind of thinks about sharks being more dangerous and kind of threatening. And again, they certainly can be, but here's an interesting kind of statistic. So coconuts are more dangerous than sharks. And you guys might be like, Mrs. Rice, what does that mean? And what that means is it is, I don't want to say more common, but you can get hurt by a coconut more, or maybe people have been hurt more by coconuts than they have by sharks. And so again, I think that that's an interesting fact and something that I wanted to put in our facts this morning, because again, well, maybe I should speak for myself. If you know more about sharks, maybe you don't find them as threatening. But Mrs. Rice finds sharks very scary and threatening, but they're actually not as threatening as we think. So the media and the news, they kind of put all of those more scary shark stories out there for us to see. But there's actually been a lot of encounters with sharks that have been very friendly, actually. So I remember when I was in the Bahamas and we were going to go like scuba diving. And my first question was, I don't want to see any sharks because they scare me. But after getting a knowledge on sharks and things like that, they're actually not as scary as you might think. And you can see a shark and they would not be threatening at all. They're only threatening in certain situations. Okay. Not saying that we want to go up to a shark or anything like that, but just trying to kind of down the stigma of that sharks are so scary and so threatening. Okay.
I have a question for all of our friends. In what way do you think a coconut could hurt us more than a shark? I have a thought in
Mm.
my head, but I was just picturing how this coconut could hurt us versus a shark. What are some ideas on a way a coconut could hurt you? Allergies? Maybe. What else? Does anybody know where coconuts grow? Yes, that's what I was thinking, Jovi. I was thinking, what if it bonks me on the noggin?
Mm.
Or if you accidentally kick it with your toe, that would hurt too. Good job, friends.
Yeah. So actually, coconuts can hurt you or maybe have hurt people more than sharks have, which is interesting to know. Okay. So let's go to the next slide here. So just some more facts about sharks. Sharks have really good eyesight. They can see very far away, more far away than we can. So they have really, really good set of eyes on them. Okay. Now, another fact that a lot of you already knew and we're starting to write about in the chat, there are over 500 different types of sharks. So a lot of you are naming some in the chat. If you know a type of shark, can you drop it in the chat? I think a lot of you were kind of naming those more common types of sharks, but to think about 500 different types, that means there's a lot of different types of sharks. 500 is a pretty big number. So let's go ahead. Okay, tiger shark. Good. I want to see if any of us know some of these different types of sharks. Hammerhead. Good. Ooh, yeah, the bigger types of sharks, absolutely. Great white. Yeah, we're gonna watch a great white today. Oh, a lemon shark. Yeah, so Mrs. Rice surely doesn't know all 500 types of sharks. So I'm actually really curious to know what types of sharks we do know. Oh, a whale shark. Yeah. And actually, Emery, I needed to double check on that, but I think the whale shark is actually the one that is the biggest. Like the 33 could go up to 33 feet. Ooh, a dogfish, a sword shark. Yeah. I thought so, Conley. Yeah. And I know the megalodon is a big shark as well. That's what a lot of those Shark Week movies are kind of on those bigger sharks. Yeah. Okay, good. So we know a handful of them. Oh, a nurse shark. I'll have to look up that one. So we know a handful of them, but just to think that there are 500 different types, we've named about 10-ish of them. So there is a lot more of types of sharks that we even would think of, which is pretty cool. Okay. Some sharks can swim up to 46 miles per hour. And I just put wow at the end of that because that is super, super fast. Um, I'm trying to kind of put that in compare that to something, but it is pretty much as fast as a car. Okay. So most sharks stay at that like 20-mile-per-hour range, but some sharks can get like a big breeze of 46 miles per hour. So when they hit that 46 miles per hour mark, it's not something they can sustain. But if they're like saying they're trying to run really fast or trying to swim really fast, I should say, they can get up to 46 miles per hour for a short period of time. Okay. And that is super fast. Like I said, it's just about as fast as a car. All right. All right, you guys, so we are going to watch a video about a shark. So you guys can see kind of a shark in its own element in the ocean, see what it kind of looks like. Again, there is 500 different types of sharks. So we're going to watch a video just on one of the sharks. Um, but I wanted to kind of emphasize that there is lots of different types. So maybe this one that we're going to be watching in the video might be a one that you would think about in a movie, or might be one that you would think about when you think about what a shark looks like, but just remembering that there's 500 different types of sharks. So they can look different, and again, they can really vary in size. Now, the one that we're going to be watching a video for today is the great white shark. Before we watch it, does anyone have any kind of fun facts that they know about the great white shark? Anything that they'd like to share? I know that some of you talked about the great white shark in the chat as one of the shark types that you knew about. Maybe you read about it before. Maybe you saw one before, like an aquarium or something like that. So any kind of facts that we know about the great white shark specifically. Oh, breathing in gills. Oh, Conley said I drew one. Cool. Oh, jaws. Yeah. Someone put teeth too. It's big. Absolutely. Any other facts about the great white shark before we watch kind of a live video on what they look like and kind of how they move? Okay. Now, you guys, this is not a video that we need to listen to, so don't worry if you can't hear any audio. This is more of a video that I want you guys to watch with your eyes, just to kind of see how the sharks swim, and kind of how they look in their own natural environment. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play that now. So there's a great white shark. Looks like it's really far down in the ocean, pretty deep in there. There's some other fishies around the shark. Notice that the fish around the shark are much smaller. And notice too, you guys, that the great white shark is not he doesn't seem to be like going at a threatening way. He's just kind of swimming and pretty big though. I don't know about you guys, but if I saw this shark in the ocean, I would be a little bit scared of the great white shark. There you go. So see, he's kind of definitely swimming a little bit slower right now. But yeah, take a look at how big that shark is. Its tail, its fin up there.
Interesting. Oh, here comes more fish. I was going to say in the beginning of the video, the shark was surrounded by a lot of fish, and then we saw the shark had no fish around it. But here we are again with more fish. So the fish scared of the shark, do they? They kind of seem like they're pals.
I was gonna say the same thing. They don't seem to be running away. They don't seem very scared of the shark, which is interesting. Let's see if we can get another kind of close up there to see the shark's teeth again. Here's a good close up there. Can't see his teeth though, but that is a good picture of the fin, the tail. Again, he kind of looks like he's in towards the bottom of the ocean. See if we can get a little bit of white underneath too, huh? Wanted to get a little bit of his teeth there. Oh, you can see it a little bit. He's opening his mouth there. And there's a good picture of his tail and just how long his whole body is. Oh, there he is. He's coming at us there. Okay, there's a little bit of his teeth. Yeah, look at that. I am going to stop sharing my screen so that we can make sure that we're doing this activity together and you can see Mrs. Rice's screen okay. But before I stop sharing, I want to go over some materials and what we're going to make today to kind of wrap up our Under the Sea theme week and sharks too for today. So we are going to make a shark sensory bottle. So this is going to be a lot of fun, you guys. It's going to be something that you can keep after and something that you can hopefully use after as well. So some materials that we need for this, and like always, I'll make sure I give you guys a few minutes to gather those materials, but we are going to need some glue. Now, Mrs. Rice, I wanted to show you guys. I grabbed just some glitter glue. So this is glitter and glue kind of together. They come in one of those kind of cylinder, skinny bottles there, but it's glitter and glue mixed together. So I put both on there. If you have glue, that's awesome. You can use that. But also if you have like a glitter glue, that is good too. I am using blue today because we are going to make, hopefully it's going to look like an ocean. So I opted for blue, but any kind of glitter glue that you have is fine. Okay, and any glue too. So you can use glitter glue or just regular glue. Both are a-okay. All right, and then I also have some glitter. So Mrs. Rice opted for some blue, just kind of loose glitter. So there's no glue in here today. This is just the loose glitter. So this one has the glue in it. This is just more of the loose kind of glitter. I have blue, and then I also grabbed this color too. I want to show you guys. Just to make my sensory bottle a little bit more fun and colorful. I got like a silver too. So I have the loose blue glitter, and then I also have the loose silver glitter. Okay. And when you shake it, you can kind of hear that all that glitter kind of moving around because it's just loose glitter in there. Okay. So friends, I have the blue glitter glue. I have the blue kind of loose glitter. And then I also have the silver. Now, anytime that we use glitter, make sure you have something under you. So like a newspaper or just some plastic, because glitter can be really, really hard to get out and it can end up everywhere. So just make sure that you have, you're working in an environment where you can clean up kind of easily, because again, glitter can get everywhere. Okay, so we also want to have some water with us. So Mrs. Rice has some water, and this is just regular water from a water bottle. You can get your water from a sink, just regular water there. All right, now something else I have is a clear bottle. So I have an empty clear bottle, as you guys can see. There's a little tiny bit of water there at the very, very bottom, but that's okay. For the most part, it is empty. So we just have a clear bottle here. All right. Then I have some white or gray, your choice, paper, because we are going to actually make little mini sharks today. So we got some white paper. And then, of course, to cut out our little mini sharks, we need some. I know I've been saying this all week, but it's super duper important. Make sure that we have like some kid-friendly scissors, or we have a grown-up with us that can help us with scissors if we need to. Okay, so I will give you guys just a few minutes there to gather your materials if you do have them, because those are all the things that we are going to need today to make our shark sensory bottle. And this is going to be lots of fun. And like I said before, this is going to be something that you can use even like down the road, even next week, the week after, depending on how long it stays. But this is something that you can use in lots of instances. And after we're finished making these sensory bottles, we'll kind of go over how we can use them in our everyday life or our day-to-day kind of life. Okay, so again, the materials that we need are some glue. Mrs. Rice got some blue glitter glue. That's optional as long as we have some type of glue. That's perfect. I have some loose glitter here. I chose blue and silver for this activity. Just some water. Like I said before, it can be water from a water bottle or water in a sink. Both are absolutely okay. And then some white or gray paper and some scissors to cut out our sharks. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started making our sensory shark water bottle this morning. So let's kind of go over the steps here. Mrs. Rice has 6 steps to make this shark sensory bottle this morning. So like I always say, try to stay with Mrs. Rice. It's super important just because if we get to the end and we don't think it looks the way that we want it to look or doesn't look the way that maybe we thought it was going to look, it might be because we were going a little bit ahead and accidentally skipping one of the steps. So it is important if you are choosing to do this with Mrs. Rice this morning, it is important to make sure that we follow along with each of the steps. Okay, Lizette, honey, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead, make sure you just put it in the chat and Mrs. Rice can answer your question, okay? Awesome. All right, my friends, step number 1. We are going to squeeze the glitter glue into a clear, clean bottle. So this is Mrs. Rice's clear bottle this morning. Like I said, there's like a tiny, tiny bit of water there at the bottom, but that's okay. As long as it's clear, meaning you can see through it, and it's clean, meaning there's not anything in it. All right. So I'm going to get my glitter glue. I opted for blue this morning, but friends, any type of glue that you have is a-okay. I'm going to get my glitter glue and I'm going to put all of my glitter glue into my water bottle this morning, or my clear bottle, I should say, because it doesn't have to be a water bottle. It can be like a 2-liter bottle. It can be like a vinegar bottle, even like a mouthwash bottle is okay. Anything that you have, just to make sure that it's clear so that we can really see the ending result. Okay. So here's my glitter glue there. I just have a little bit down there at the bottom. Might need to add, let's see. Thinking about maybe adding another color just to get a little bit more glue in there. So I also have a silver here that I'm going to add as well, right into my water bottle, just to make sure we have enough. Okay. Add in some of that glitter glue. And friends, if you have your own glue at home, feel free to add it right into the water bottle. So here's what I have so far. This is all glitter glue down here. So it's a little mixture of like real glue and then glitter. Okay. So far, that's what we have. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a minute to make sure that all of your glue is in your clear bottle. And Harper, I see that you're using like real white glue. That's awesome. I kind of wish that I would have had a mixture of the real glue and the glitter glue, but we'll see how Mrs. Rice's turns out with just the glitter glue this morning. All right. Okay, so once you get all of that glitter glue into your clear, clean bottle, then you're going to add some loose glitter. So remember, you guys, that loose glitter is just kind of the glitter that you can shake. It's loose in there. That's the only thing that's in there is the glitter. So please be very, very careful. Like we talked about before, glitter can get everywhere. So we want to make sure that we have a clean workspace for your glitter. Okay, so Miss Rice is getting her loose glitter and just kind of putting it in the clear, clean bottle with the glitter glue. And I'm looking and I'm hoping that there's a way that we can take this lid off just to kind of pour it all in together. So take your time, friends. I know it's taking Miss Rice a little bit of time to get this loose glitter here in my clear bottle this morning. And I really like glitter, so I want mine to be nice and glittery. But remember, glitter can make a little bit of a mess, so just making sure we have something under us that kind of protects the furniture that we're on or anything that we're using underneath. Because again, glitter can be hard to get out. We want to make sure that we have a good kind of cleaning system. Something that can be easily picked up kind of at the end. Glitter can be fun and it can be pretty, but it can also be a little bit messy. So as you can see, you guys, Mrs. Rice is just putting the loose glitter into my glitter jar or into my clear bottle with the glitter glue. So I'm combining the glitter glue with some loose glitter.
See a lot of you working really hard, doing a great job. I'm just scrolling through everyone and just, oh, good job, Maya. I like that blue. It was very pretty.
And you know what, guys? I have my blue loose glitter that I'm adding in here, but I'm also going to add some of the silver glitter that I have as well. And again, I'm just adding it right into my clear bottle. It's looking so pretty so far. Like Mrs. Rice said, I really like glitter. So I want my sensory bottle, my shark sensory bottle, to be a little more glittery. But it is a-okay if you have a little bit of glitter or a lot of glitter, whatever is good for you. I'm going to add a little bit more, and then because of time, we'll go ahead and move on to our next step. Okay, my friends, so I have some silver glitter in there. I know it's hard to see right now, but I have my glitter glue in there. I have my silver glitter, and I have my blue glitter. All right, so far so good. Let's go ahead and do the next step. So step number 3, we are going to fill our bottle with water. So Mrs. Rice has some water here in a water bottle, and I'm just going to transfer the water into my sensory bottle. And you can go ahead and fill it up as much as you want. You can fill up, I would not do the whole way, but you can fill it up about 3/4 of the way. So I'll show you what I mean. I would do maybe a little more than half. Okay. So there is Miss Rice's.
That looks great.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So you can add a little bit more water if you like. I'm going to do about there. So there's mine. Got some glitter in there. My glitter glue. It's kind of starting to look like a tornado in there. There's a lot going on, a lot of glitter. And that's why Mrs. Rice said, I'm going to take a little bit of time to make sure that my glitter's in there. Okay, so go ahead and take your time with that step. It can be tricky to put a little bit of water into that water bottle or into whatever you're using. So please, please take your time. I see some of you are already shaking it up. You could shake it pretty heavy, only because that glitter glue or the glue at the bottom, it tends to stick at the bottom. So I'm shaking it up pretty good. Put your lid on, of course, before you shake. And you don't even need to shake it yet. I was just kind of excited to see what it looked like. Look at that. It is so glittery. There you go. You guys see that? It is so glittery. Okay. Once you have put your water into your sensory bottle, the next thing I want you guys to do is cut out some sharks. So Mrs. Rice has a shark. I have two little sharks. I actually made a bigger one, and then I made a littler one. So I have two sharks. I want you guys to get some white paper if you have it, or some gray, because we know that sharks are gray too. And I want you to maybe like draw a little shark and then use your scissors to cut it out. Okay. Once you've done that, you can put your little sharks in your sensory bottles. So I'm going to put my shark in. Now this will be interesting because I did a lot of glitter in mine. So I'm curious to see if I can see my sharks in there. And friends, you can use paper for this. A lot of people used like foam for this step as well. So either one. Once you add the sharks in there, you can really shake it up good. Put your lid on and shake it really good. And then you can kind of see Miss Rice's sharks. A little hard to see. Let me see if I can get you a better view. And so now, after you've shaken it up and you added your sharks in there, you have a sensory shark bottle where you have your glitter, you have your water. It kind of looks like the ocean, right? So when you're shaking it up, you can really see your sharks are kind of swimming in the ocean. Do you see Miss Rice's shark in there? It's a little hard to see. If you can see the white part right there. Look at that. There's my shark swimming in the ocean. So cool. So go ahead, take a little bit of time, you guys. Make sure your lids are on really good before you shake it up. Make sure your sharks are in there. Like I said, you can use white paper to cut out your sharks. You can use gray paper to cut out your sharks. You can even use like a foam to cut out your sharks, fine as well. Yeah, and so if it's on the wall of the bottle, make sure your lid is on super, super good and just shake it up. You can shake it up from side to side. You can shake it like up and down and try to get that glue off of the wall, because that was what was happening for Mrs. Rice until I added the water and really shook it really good. Conley says, hey guys, look at mine. It's cool. Yeah, Jake says I can't see the sharks. So it depends on how much glitter you put in it. Mrs. Rice put a lot of glitter in hers, and it is a little bit hard to see my sharks, but I do see them once I kind of settle it down a little bit.
It's probably easier to see in person too, as opposed
It
to like the
should.
camera on the laptop. Did
Yes.
anyone else use a different color for their sharks than white? I'm just curious to see if maybe we can see those better. Did anybody use any different color glitter than blue? I'm just curious to see what variety of bottles and sharks we have. It looks like Harper's is like a lighter blue. That looks cool, Harper. Good job. Miriam, yours looks great. Let's see. Conley, yours looks great. I'm just
Oh, how
scrolling
fun.
through here. Maya, great job. I think I got everybody on camera. You did a great job.
They
And I
did
see
really good.
some friends are still working, so take your time.
And I can see, because remember, friends, I put two little sharks in there, and I can actually see them swimming. It really looks like an ocean, a very glittery ocean, which I don't mind, but it looks like the sharks are swimming in the ocean. It's very cool. And something else, you guys, one of the reasons why Mrs. Rice said don't fill it up to the top is because if you go like this, there's some like air up at the top, so the sharks seem to be kind of going up towards the top. So if you look in, you can kind of see the sharks there laying at the top. Okay. So I hope that was fun for you guys. It is a sensory bottle. So it tends to like calm people down. So if there's ever a time where you're like angry or just upset about something, or just not having your best day, which happens to all of us, feel free to get your sensory bottle out and just kind of watch it for a few minutes. It does tend to calm us down a bit. So that's just an extra little perk to our sensory bottle. So fun.
Some job, friends. Now, I'm sure we had a great week under the sea, but sharks was really cool to learn about. I had no idea there were over 500 different types of sharks. What? That's crazy. And friends, you all had a lot of great facts that you were putting in the chat. You really impressed me. So great with the knowledge on sharks.